the hell is going on? I don't
like
understand.
These two idiots need to be on the radio only.
If that's not the truest statement I have ever heard.
My mama never called me a liar. That's for damn sure.
Welcome back to the Sound Hole, where Hardy and I talk about some music. Is it rock? Is it not? Where in rock does it belong? Or just what the hell is it? Where should it go? Hardy, hi, hello, how are you?
Hello, people. I'm great. How are you?
I'm fantastic. How was your last week?
Not bad. Kind of a lazy weekend. I have a little more questions about your weekend because I saw your TikTok. And I'm a little concerned that you might still have a Delta 8 hangover at this point. So
no, that's well worn off now. No, for those that missed the story, I didn't believe in the powers of Delta 8 because I thought it was like, slightly stronger CBD.
No.
It's stronger for sure. What is it like? Most people take like between 20 and 50 milligrams of that stuff. I took 300 milligrams.
Let me tell you, I've been using Delta 8 for my anxiety for 6 months now. Basically, I discovered it back like right after I had COVID in November, and I've never taken over 50 without immediately going to sleep. Like I accidentally took more than 50 one time, and I was like, nap time, bye, done.
There was a point in like the 5th inning, and like I didn't really feel anything. I was given a souvenir hat when I walked in the park, and I don't remember getting it.
When did I get this hat?
But like there was a point in like the 2nd inning, I was like, man, I'm hungry and I'm not tired, and this isn't doing anything. So I went down to the Freddy's at the Windsurge game and got me a burger and fries and some cheese curds. Well, about the 5th inning, all of that hit me, and I was suddenly plunged into a dunk tank watching this game. Like I was underwater.
Ooh, that went high. That's a scoreboard.
I'm pretty sure the underwater thing came because one of the walk-up songs at the Windsurge was Astronaut in the Ocean. So I was like, that's how I feel right now, like an astronaut in the ocean. Yeah, it was, dude, it was wild.
That Delta 8 kicks in harder when you eat. So that's, I think, probably what you did to yourself is that, because they always tell you, like, eat with it, and then you'll really feel it, because it takes like 30, 45 minutes to kick in normally, but if you don't eat, it takes like an hour or two. And
yeah, it took about 2 hours to kick in, and man, when it did, it was like, ooh.
So, if you're curious about the power of Delta 8, both of us believe in it. No one's paying us. So,
right. Yeah, it works.
Out there. If you're looking for a legal option to not CBD, but not THC. Well, it is THC technically.
It's like, my understanding is it's like one little genetic marker away from being weed, but it fits in this loophole. So get it while you can before
they ban it.
Before fun haters are like, no, you can't have fun. You shouldn't take naps.
How dare you? Go get drunk instead.
Yeah, I don't understand how this is a threat. Like, seriously, it just makes me want to take a nap. At the very least, I was going to be that dude that fell asleep at the bad Windsurge game because we lost that day. So, yeah. That's okay. I still love the team. It's a lot of fun.
You know, they got to win. They got to lose sometimes. It happens. So,
yeah. We got another good show for you today. Talking about some newer music again. One of mine's got a little dust on it, but it's still a cool track. I wanted to pull it out and talk about it. Then later, as inspired from last week's episode, is Nickelback cool?
No!
That throwdown at the end of the podcast. As always, give us a follow if you're watching us on YouTube. Follow us online, t95.com/thesoundhole, and listen to us on demand on the T95 app. Get that now in the App Store and Google Play. Last week, it was Gentlemen First, and despite it being Gentlemen, I went. So now it's on to you, Marty. Ladies first.
Okay, so my first song is a band that we have played before, but this song does not sound like a song that they have ever done. It's A Day to Remember. I think it's called Everything We Have, Everything We
Need.
Everything We Need. Thank you. Sorry.
Yep. No worries.
Not many brain cells. I like this song a lot because it's very It's a ballad. It's for sure a ballad. It's about, like all the bad things in the world. You may not have money, you may not have everything, but at the end of the day, we've got each other. And I think that's such a great message because that is the only thing on this planet that you're promised is human companionship and caring about people. And that is one of the things that is always free. But I love this song and I don't normally like them. And I think that's what's conflicting to me because I'm definitely not a Day to Remember fan. I've seen them live a few times. It's just,
really? That surprises me, actually.
For as much emo and pop punk as I like, they were never really my thing. Like, there's a couple of songs I could do, like the anthems or whatever, but they were never really my cup of tea. But I love this song. And, I feel like it would be one of our slower songs if we were to play it. But what do you think?
Actually, well, we are playing it, actually. It's playing it overnight. So you don't
see, I'm not up that late.
You're not up. Yeah, exactly. You're not up during that time period when we're playing the song.
I knew that on purpose. That's why I picked it.
So, you remember, it's interesting to me that you were talking about, the acoustic songs, and you're like, oh, I don't normally, like this. It's an acoustic song, so I would think it's definitely in your ballpark.
Yeah.
Also, remember last week I was giving you a hard time about the kumbaya, youth pastors around the campfire sound of Blind Melon Snow Rain. That's this kind of vibe.
Listen, it is not the same as Blind Melon. How dare you?
But
no.
Wait.
This song has heart and purpose.
You're not letting me defend you, Hardy. You don't even know what I'm going to say yet. No, I'm just kidding.
Fine.
This song doesn't have the youth pastory vibe to it that Blind Melon does. This seems like one of those songs that moved along with the times. I really like the song. And it's not just because we're playing it. Like when I first heard it, I was like, man, this is a jam, man. It's if you don't know anything about it, it's the last song on this new album that they put out. It's kind of a wind down from everything that you had just heard on the record. And it's got the same kind of concept for the video because like the whole point is they just finished a show and then he jumps in his truck and he's driving home and he's thinking about, all the things he's got in life, the band and his friends and family and all that kind of stuff. It's very, very cool. Like this song to me isn't youth pastors around a fire. This is all my buddies sitting around a fire pit drinking beer, like way too much, and we're at that karaoke point where we're just badly singing, I know, I got you, we're at that point of the night with this song.
It's kind of got the emo friends in low places vibes.
Yes, that's a great description for it. Yeah.
It's not quite about drinking or anything like that, but it's just about and it's not even romantic necessarily. You could frame this as just like you and your friends or you and your family or whoever is important to you. I think that's after a year of no social contact and no being around people, I think the song is so well timed and so important and so good. And I'm obsessed with it lately. So I obviously knew we were playing it and I'm so glad we are.
It's very different for A Day to Remember, which you kind of alluded to. It is,
it's
and
they're not like them at all.
They're a very kind of broad band. They cover a lot of like the emo side, the hardcore, the real heavy stuff, real guttural stuff. And then they put out, some bops. They put out some ballads kind of like this. It's just like, wow, where did that come from? A lot of their fans were very upset, not just with the album, but with this song because it was such a strong departure from A Day to Remember. But I really like it. I think with his vocals and the way the song is constructed, even though it's, stripped down and acoustic for them, it's still kind of heavy and chunky.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate more than anything on this, just because you think it's a rock song. I want to try and argue the other side of it. I can hear an alternative, format playing this song, and I think it would fit. If you look at like a full library of what like an alternative format and a rock format would play, we obviously play it, and it fits, where we put it. As far as a library as a whole, I think it would fit better on the acoustic side, on the alternative side. But I don't know. He actually does do some screamy vocals at the end that are kind of undertone, like it's kind of underneath everything.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lean like 50.5 to 49.5. This is just barely a rock song. Just barely.
Barely a rock song. I'll take that at this point because I think there should be a line between alt and actually heavy rock, or not heavy rock, but just regular rock as I like to refer to it as, because it's, there has to be gray areas and everything. And this song is the perfect example of a gray area where I think it could go on either format and totally fit well. And it's just, I think everybody can enjoy this song. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's like the McDonald's of music. Like, yeah, it may not be your first choice, but everybody's going to be okay in the car. Everybody's going to find something they want. They're going to be fine. They're going to be happy. So,
The McDonald's of music. I don't
That's
know.
insulting. I don't like McDonald's. How about it's the Wendy's of music?
There you
Because I
go.
like
We can
Wendy's.
definitely get behind some Wendy's.
I can get behind Wendy's because McDonald's, I really can't find anything I want on that menu. But
Yeah.
Wendy's, I'm like, give me the chicken nuggets now.
actually, McDonald's started like this breakfast stuff with like what are they? The muffins and cinnamon rolls and stuff. Their breakfast is actually on point. It's pretty decent.
I had the apple fritter. It tastes like wax. It's terrible.
see.
I hate it.
Maybe I went to a good McDonald's. I don't know if that exists. Their ice cream machine was working, so it must have been high quality.
What? That never
Yeah.
happens. That's a lie. I heard
think-
something that apparently there's only 1 hour a day the ice cream machine doesn't work. And I'm like, that's bullshit because I've come at all sorts of hours and it's never working. So how dare you?
Yeah.
I'm not that good of timing, okay?
I always think it's interesting that McDonald's ice cream machine never works, but I still have no problem getting McFlurry. Like some of the other ice cream stuff I can never get, but it's like, oh, you want a McFlurry? Yeah, sure. It's like, how is this okay, but the ice cream machine's broken?
They're probably all in the freezer just waiting. Like
They have a secret ice cream machine in the back that's only for McFlurries.
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And then they give you that spoon that you think's a straw and then it tricks you, then you're pissed off at it.
And then like you cut the inside of your lips and you're just like, oh God, I hate this.
Why is it this a straw? Yeah, exactly.
All right, so I'm barely leaning on the rock side for a day to remember. I'll give that one to you, just barely.
Fine, I'll take it. All
right.
It's a victory.
All right, my first one today. This is a band. I can't help but laugh every time I talk about this song because it is so wild.
It's so weird.
12 Foot Ninja is the name of the band. The song is Coming For You.
Be ready, I'm coming for you. Be ready, I'm coming for you. Be ready, I am coming.
For those that don't know this song, it's hard to give it context without playing the whole thing. We only get to play a fraction of it. So go check it out, to really understand, my confusion with this song.
Feel free to hit pause and come back after you listen to the song and then beat your head into a wall for 10 minutes because you don't know what the hell you just listened to.
I'll put the video
bad.
link. No, I'll put the video link in the bio for this video on YouTube.
Sure.
And it's going to be in the Spotify playlist as well. Now, very clearly, out the gate, this is a rock song.
Yeah.
Like, it's very aggressive. The chorus is very heavy and chunky. It's very cool, very rock-like. But then it gets to the verses.
And then it gets a little weird. And then everything goes off the rails.
Yeah, it goes into this like kind of Latino samba style music. Like I don't know if this is a samba dance. I don't know, but like it does that for a little bit, and then there's like a bridge from that back into the chorus that is a straight up like funky disco music. Like
Yeah, I don't understand, but at the same time, it's like it almost has a Santana vibe. And if you put it into that context, like technically Santana is rock, so like this could be rock. Is it? Probably not. But
I
I'm
just pictured
gonna go with
Carlos Santana playing this song with like Rob Thomas as the vocalist.
They just come in for the verse and then they leave, and then they're but I mean, the name of the band should give you an idea that like this is going to be nonsense from the start.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
and that's not bad. There's a place in music for nonsense and weird stuff, and I embrace it because I am a weird person, so I love it when people do weird stuff. But this song just
normally, like when you cram three genres, and it's not like inspired by a certain style or anything.
No.
It is a straight up like samba in the middle of this song, and then a
Like,
straight up disco song, and then it goes back to hard rock. Like it should not be. This is my frustration with it. It should not work that well.
it's basically multiple personality disorder as a song. So, I mean, it's trying. It's doing its best. It's being it, but it is three different people simultaneously, and it's a little difficult.
And the song, like the hard rock part, has this really cool like synth line in it too that I thought was
Yeah.
really, really interesting. This is the weirdest, most amazing rock song ever made, and I don't understand why it wasn't a bigger deal. Maybe because people were just like, I don't know what the hell to do with this. Can
I
don't know
only
what it
play
is.
this one section? Like, I'm gonna play the part that sounds like Bring Me the or Between the Buried and Me, and then we're gonna go into Santana, and then we're gonna go into John Travolta, and then back into Between the Buried and Me.
Then if you listen to the end of the song, like there's this huge brutal breakdown that moves into this like crazy dissonant piano music. It turns into like this horror story. Like it's honestly, if my entire Apple Music library were put on shuffle, like that is what this song is.
It's only missing a rapper.
It's only missing rap, and it's only missing Gregorian chants. That's the only two things it's missing from my Apple library.
It's down in there in the bottom somewhere. We just can't hear it. It's fine.
But it's a rock song, but I don't know what else to call it. They're from Australia, if that means anything. And to that effect, they might be the only rock band from Australia that doesn't mimic AC/DC in their sound.
You know, that is a valid point because Australia is definitely not known. Now, New Zealand weirdly has a lot of really good music, but like mainland Australia, no, not known for their rock bands by any means. And I usually forget that AC/DC is Australian and I just assume they're British because it's like, same difference. I mean, it's not, but it is.
You know, I would imagine like this band's from Melbourne or Melbourne, however you say it.
Sure.
I have to imagine like a band like this, when you live in a country where literally everything wants to murder you every second of the day.
You'd be confused too.
Yeah. So maybe that makes more sense. That actually, Luna, that makes a lot more sense.
Luna, do you agree with us?
Yes, I agree with everything that me boss says.
No.
See, it works. It works because Luna was talking, so the microphone picked her up.
Oh, okay. That adds up.
Luna, you always throw this show into like chaos. What is wrong with you?
Jeez.
We're trying to do a very serious program here.
He tries to leave you at home, you follow him to work, and then you disrupt the whole podcast, and we don't appreciate it. So like calm down back there in the background.
Chill out. I still love you, Luna, but just, it's not about you anymore.
Here to hear, Luna. To hear.
That's right. All right, so I really just wanted to bring up 12-Foot Ninja, this song, because it's so fucking weird.
I'll take it.
It's a rock song. I think we both agree on that, but what kind of rock song? Who knows?
Who knows? It has rock elements. We'll take it.
It is music. It is music.
My next song, I'm starting fights with this song.
I'm not okay with this one. I'm not okay with you picking this one.
Well aware I'm definitely starting fights with this song, but I decided Weezer had this new album just drop last week, Van Weezer. But basically the latest single, I don't know what this song is. I know I brought it here to claim that it's rock and that it deserves to be called rock. Anyway, the song's called I Need Some of That. It's weird. I don't need any of it, to be honest. But I just wanted to bring it up because I used to be a massive Weezer fan, huge, massive Weezer fan, and really since like 2009, I don't know what the hell's going on there. I'm like, River, it's just like, surely you make enough money off of royalties off the Blue album. Just sit at home.
Can I just point out how, like, have you seen modern Rivers Cuomo, like what he looks like now?
He looks like someone's creepy stepdad.
It's like a combination of Buddy Holly and Miles Kennedy as one person, like with the long hair and the glasses. It's odd. It's very odd.
It's not good. And I don't like to judge people for their appearance ever, but it's not good. It's not working. Just like this whole band is not working right now. And like Weezer, we play a lot of Weezer. Weezer is a definitive rock band. I don't know what to do with this song. I hate it. Me, Paul. I brought it to talk crap about it. And that's not normally the goal of this podcast, but it's upset me so much I needed to do this.
Well, I'm actually going to defend this song. Now, are you saying yes? Now, wait. Are you saying this is a rock song?
No. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah.
But it's a rock song that you're not okay with.
It's a rock song that sucks.
Okay. Wow. Okay. Well,
I
I was going to bring up the fact that I didn't think this was fair at all that you brought this up, because this is most definitely a rock song,
Yeah.
Weezer's leaning, heavier on the alternative side of things lately with a lot of their stuff. The last OK Human, was that the record they released before this?
Yeah.
Earlier this year? Yeah.
Yeah.
Very much an alternative record with, some rock influences. Like, I can hear more of that on an alternative format than on a rock station, but it would work. It would play well over here with some certain things.
Sure.
This album, though, it's literally called Van Weezer. They had it done last year. It's basically to pay tribute to Van Halen. So if you listen to the guitar licks, like, it's basically Van Halen guitar with Weezer songwriting. I love it.
I like it because it's definitely a departure from the trash that they've put out over the last, 5 albums. It's definitely not that terrible Africa cover. Like, so, like, I appreciate, and that's why I brought it, because I'm like, I want to like this song really bad. I still don't. And I don't know if it's, I don't know. I didn't like the other songs off this record either, though, because I gave the whole record. I mean, like, it's not bad, but it's still not quality Weezer. Like, I think if someone else put this record out, I would be okay with it. But I'm still like, where's Pinkerton? Where's Green Album? Where's Blue Album Weezer? Where did you guys go?
Yeah.
Where have you been? And like,
I think this is
they've gotten to that sound, but I still think it does. It still feels forced and manufactured too much to me.
Well, I think, you've got the rock elements in this one from, Pinkerton, Blue Album, Green Album, which Green Album is, I'm probably in the minority. Green Album is my favorite Weezer album.
Sure.
By and far.
Yeah.
Mostly because of Hash Pipe, because I love that song.
That song's great.
But like, I think you're right. I think this is the closest they've come to that sound again with the band. But I would imagine it feels kind of manufactured because it has kind of a loose concept to it in that it's supposed to be like a Van Halen kind of inspired record. So they're taking, their more rocky kind of sound and they're mashing it with this Van Halen kind of sound and putting it together. So I can see where it would feel a little more manufactured than some of the other stuff that they do. But I dig it, man. Knowing that it's kind of like a one-off and it's supposed to be kind of a novelty thing, I dug it for that. I wasn't listening to it for, Weezer Green Album. I wasn't listening to it for Pinkerton or anything like that. I listened to it as Weezer paying tribute to Van Halen. And I maybe that changed my perception. I don't know.
Maybe if I went into that headspace, because I kind of forget that's what they were doing there, to be honest, with this whole record. But I don't know. I'm a big Pinkerton fan, and so that's like their acoustic alt album that's good. But Green Album is where I got into Weezer, because I remember listening to my hometown's modern rock station that was just like basically a mirror of T95, and I remember hearing Hash Pipe and Island in the Sun and going, what is this band? I need to know more about them, because they stuck out so much amongst like the Disturbed and Stained and all that stuff that was really big at that same era in like 2002, 2003 when I was in like early high school. And I was just like finally discovering like a band I got in the mainstream and I liked. And so it's like I've been searching that Weezer high since then, and there's nothing like it. They've not released anything. I mean, Ratitude was okay, but it still had like Pork and Beans was like the only song that was any fun on that one, and it's even still kind of so. Did
they release the Black Album, right? That was the one that was supposed to be like real dark and moody and whatever.
Yeah, and it just
it seems like Weezer, other than this, because I feel like Van Weezer, this record kind of got gypped because it was supposed to come out before they went on the Hella Mega Tour last year with Fall Out Boy and Green Day.
Yeah.
So,
which is going to be an amazing tour, and they're talking about adding more dates to it. So who knows? Maybe we'll actually get this near us and get to see it.
God, I think it's like the closest dates in Kansas City at the moment.
I hope they come closer, because like they just announced like yesterday that they plan on adding dates. So come on in, Trust. Come on.
Yeah. No joke. No, I think the injustice was done on this record because they had plans to put it out and have this whole vibe going into that tour with the Van Weezer record, and then it just killed it. So they set up this whole promotional thing about this is what this is. It's basically a Van Halen tribute record, which the timing would have been incredible if Eddie still was going to die last year, with everything going on, because they were going to release the record before Eddie died.
Oh,
So
this was all in plan. This wasn't a post-death.
no.
Well, yeah, they couldn't have gotten it out that fast otherwise. Yeah, that makes sense.
So this was something that they had in the works. They were going to release in 2020, and obviously everything got shut down. So they just said, okay, we'll write another alt record, an OK Human, that has some OK stuff on it, and then we're going to put this out, which I'm happy they did, because OK Human kind of left a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah,
like it was literally okay. And then they released this, and I'm like, okay, I can get behind this. I can really get behind this.
This is definitely their first set of singles that I've actually enjoyed in probably a decade. So
you do like it then?
I do, but I don't. I still I'm on the fence with it, I guess. It's a rock song, but it's not my favorite rock song. How about that?
Go listen to some Van Halen. Like, go listen to 1984 before.
Yeah.
And then listen to Van Weezer, and then listen to the Green Album, and it's like the perfect transgression of sound.
Okay, deal. I'll go do that after this. I'll let you know how it goes.
Yeah. So just set aside 3 hours of your day just to listen to music, so I can prove a point. Yeah,
I got that time. It's fine. I don't do anything else. This is my only thing I do.
Right. What else do you do, Hardy, other than sit here and push buttons? Gosh.
Yell at Luna when you're not around. That's about it.
You know what? That makes a lot of sense. She's been acting weird and a little traumatized lately. Like, I really. Why didn't you tell me, Luna? Why didn't you tell me?
It's hard to speak up against your abusers sometimes. So
I feel that, Luna. We're gonna have a talk later. We'll go down the hall to HR. We'll get this handled. Be all good.
We don't have HR.
Shh.
Don't tell Luna. She doesn't know.
All right. So I think it's a rock song, and I love it.
I think it's a rock song, and I hate it. So there we go.
All right. My last song today is 21 Pilots' "Shy Away."
Don't you shy away.
Normally, I would defend this band as a rock band. And we kind of touched.
This one, they went off the rails, though.
Yeah,
it's not a bad song, though. I like it, and I like 21 Pilots, and they're one of those bands that I hated until I saw them live, and then I had a whole new respect for them after seeing them live, because they played a festival, and I just stumbled upon them.
Now, unfortunately, I haven't got to see them live yet. Every show that I've had an opportunity to see, they've been sold out, and it's just like, oh, well, okay. And I don't even get radio pull for some of those, because like we only played 2 songs, you know, so it's like you just buy your own ticket. Like, damn it!
Yeah, damn it! I can't afford that. I work in radio.
Right. I have to rely on free tickets. That's my payoff for working in this penny pinching business. So this was the first of 2 songs I think that they recently released. This one and Choker. Which Choker, great song, very clearly on the alternative side though.
Oh, absolutely.
Like there's no question about that one.
No
I want to debate this one though. What's funny about this is I can hear this working between some of the music on T95, which isn't, it's not uncommon with some alternative stuff. We were just talking about that with Weezer a little bit.
Sure.
It's got this cool kind of driving chorus. Mm-hmm. It's got a cool guitar riff. Obviously the drums are a rock beat. So it falls into the rock realm there. And Tyler actually gets kind of aggressive with his vocals in this song as it keeps going. Like he starts putting some rasp and some yelling and screaming and stuff a little bit in his voice. But I had trouble putting this in the rock realm. I have a little bit of an issue putting it in the rock realm.
I kind of agree with you. But I always lean that I like these songs to come in because I like a little bit of depth to our playlist. So while I can totally agree with you and understand where you're coming from on this, devil's advocate, I still would play it if I had my choice in my way, just because it's different in a good way. And I think it's got a lot of like you said, it has all the important elements, and it's honestly his vocals that really sell it for me. If he wasn't so just with the vocals, it wouldn't work, but it works perfectly, and that's the only reason it's a rock song. Had he come a little softer, I would totally throw this one aside without a doubt.
So there's 2 things that keep me from making this a rock song. One is that it doesn't quite have the build and release that most really good rock songs have. Like, it stays pretty linear. It doesn't really deviate much from this kind of consistent sound throughout the whole thing. It kind of dies off, but it doesn't ever really get above a 6 or so, maybe a 6.5. It never just explodes like you expect a really good rock song to, right?
Yeah.
The other thing And I love bringing up stupid, trivial things as an excuse. It's a boppy song instead of a a nod song. So what I mean by that is, like, if you're listening to a song, and I always had this test that was given to me by my former boss, the head nod test. If you're nodding your head to a song with it, that's a good sign. Because if you're not nodding your head, then you're not into it. If you're nodding your head, then you're into it. This song doesn't make me nod, it makes me bop. It makes me do the little side-to-side boppy thing. And that, to me, is an indication of more of a pop song than a rock song.
But I bop to songs that we play.
What do you bop to in our playlist?
I bop to Let the Bad Times Roll, The Offspring. That's a bop song. Actually, every Offspring song is a bop song.
Okay, that's fair.
I mean, they're aggressive and it's still rock, but it still makes me like, like it's got that boppy. And then like Jimmy Eat World, of course, I know we fought about this one 1,000 times. The middle makes me bop. It's not a head nodder. They've got songs that are head nodders. That one is definitely not.
See,
I'm
a head nodder with the middle. Take some time.
I'm gonna be bopping. I'm bopping. Everything's gonna be all right. I'm ready to bop. Like everything's good. And so like I don't think a bop necessarily discriminates from rock, but I definitely think it makes it lean more alt. So I'll give it that credit at least.
Yeah.
But
right.
I like this song a lot. I would love to see it on T95, but I understand entirely why it wouldn't be. So
yeah, I think it leans more heavier on the alternative side. It fits more with an alternative genre.
Yeah.
But like I said, I'm not above playing. We play 2 21 Pilots songs now. We have played, I think, 2 or 3 other ones too. Like, we're not above playing 21 Pilots, and I still consider them a rock band. I consider them a band, even though there's 2 members, the drummer and Tyler. And Tyler kind of like, he sings, and then he'll walk over to piano, and then he plays a ukulele sometimes. Like, it's an odd band, odd 2-piece band that has a lot more instruments than just 2.
Well, I mean, you have to when you're a 2-piece band, and like the White Stripes kind of made that normalized and okay to have a 2. Even if you're not a big White Stripes fan, you have to admit the amount that they can pull off with 2 people is incredible. Even if I think Meg White's still the worst drummer of any drummer in history of drumming. Like, I could do what Meg White does, but like Jack White himself is incredible. And like, you can't tell me Seven Nation Army wasn't one of the greatest rock anthems in the sense of like, it makes you want to go outside and punch the nearest person right in the face. Like, I'm going to fight you. I'm going to fight them all off. Like, so I don't know.
That song, we could talk about that in the future, but I think that song is one of the best songs ever. That's basically one person. Like, the only thing Meg White does is basically just tap on the bass drum, and that's pretty much it.
That's it. She's useless. Completely useless.
Yeah. Now you want to talk about two-man bands that are amazing, that have a huge sound. Royal Blood, who I just talked to Ben Thatcher in my Altered View podcast. Shameless plug right there.
Go check out the other podcast.
Yeah, go check out my other podcast. Ben Thatcher from Royal Blood, talking to him. That's a band that has 2 people that he talked about how they build out their sound, how that first album was just the 2 guys. And then the second album was adding a little more texture and sound to it. And then this third one, they've added a bunch of other stuff to it, but it's still just 2 guys putting out this huge wall of sound. It's really interesting.
Oh, yeah. Well, and Royal Bloods is one of those bands that's a bop, too. That song is a bop. You can't tell me you don't. It's a little naughty.
I'm banging my head to some Royal Blood. Like, I love it.
I bop to them, but I like them a lot. Like, I'm not going to argue the rockdom. Maybe I bop more than someone's supposed to bop. Maybe I'm a broken person. Maybe I'm inappropriately bopping around everywhere.
You're like a 5-finger death punch is playing, and you're just like,
that probably does actually fully add up, because I think I've been to a few hardcore shows and just been like, like I'm in the back that's just like having a great time, refusing to fight with anybody or be in the pit. Just
You're at a Bring Me the Horizon show. There's a whole pit going on, just a big old circle pit. And you're just standing in the middle. Just,
I basically did do that. Then I got punched in the face.
That's fair. That's fair. That's what you get for bopping.
He's in the front row having a good time, not moshing, and then Ollie Sykes was like, bam, right in the face. Not purposely. He did not mean
pow, right in the kisser.
He's not a domestic violence type of person, but he was very inebriated. This was like 2009, before they really blew up, and right after the first record came out. And he's trying to crowd surf, and I'm in the way. Like, this is my fault. I deserved that punch in the face. And he's trying to like get up in the crowd. He just comes and just decks me right in the nose. I looked like Andrew WK. I had blood running down my face. I ruined my shirt. It was terrible. And it was like the first night I'd met one of my friend that I do high notes with. That was like the first night I'd met him, and he dragged me to that show. It was like, you don't know this band, but let's do this. And I'm like, okay. And so I go with him to the show, and I get punched in the face, and he's like, oh my God. I'm like, we're cool. I got a septum ring. It just looks worse than it is. It's just my septum
High
ring
Notes,
got
another shameless plug to another podcast.
Yes, another amazing podcast. I think we have a new season coming. Season 3 will be coming very, very soon. The full
very cool.
Season 3. And we've got some really cool people. I can't tell you who yet, but like one of my icons is one of the people we speak to this time. And just go check it out.
You did an episode with Luna? That's cool. I didn't know you did that.
No. She's not a rock icon. I'm sorry. She's great. Don't get me wrong, but she has not released any songs that have changed the face of rock and roll, as far as I'm concerned.
It's still early in her career. You don't know.
She's just starting. She still has plenty of time. She's only like not even a year old. So
I don't know. I picked her up as an orphan. We don't know how old she is.
Why don't you ask her? Why don't you talk to your friend?
It's impolite to ask a lady her age. Love you, Luna. You're my favorite.
You're only 2. It's one. I don't know.
Okay. We talked about this last week, and I got a little chafed on this. Our big debate this week. Nickelback, are they awesome?
No. The answer is no. I've had this discussion with my boyfriend no less than 400 times, and I always make him super angry because I hate Nickelback with it. He's like, you only hate Nickelback because the internet told you to. I'm like, no, this has been a lifelong thing before the internet. Let me tell you.
What made you hate Nickelback?
I don't know. It's not.
See, you can't even tell me. You can't even tell me.
I can't. It's too generic. Like, it has the definition of what people call butt rock. That's what it is. It's very generic. I don't feel like any of it's authentic. I don't believe Chad Kroeger when he sings at all whatsoever. Now, that freaking Hero song for Spider-Man, I'm all into that.
They ripped that off from Seal, though, so that wasn't. They actually went through a lawsuit with that. So,
but
that one doesn't
rules. Count. That song rules, though, and that's the only song that they did. The song they didn't write is the one I like. So that should tell you a lot. But no, I don't know. That This Is How You Remind Me song.
Forehand and you are hard worth breaking, and I've been wrong. I've been down, been to the bottom of every bottle.
They used to play it all the time at one of my jobs when I was in high school, and like I think I got burnt out on it, and then it just I don't know. And like every Nickelback fan I've ever met has been very, very too much to deal with for me. So I feel like I have a bad connotation of people who said they liked Nickelback versus it's just not my cup of tea anyway, and I don't like them. I don't like them.
So
they're technically, I guess, rock, but they suck.
Them's fighting words. Okay.
Yeah. I believe it.
So you talk about them being like, generic rock and stuff. You're talking about like the early 2000s when the butt rock scene started happening. So you're actually talking about a pioneer of the butt rock scene, meaning they were pioneers of the sound.
Proud of. We're not proud of butt rock. We
are because we play a lot of the butt rock, and I know like the butt rock thing comes from. Radio stations in like the early 2000s, like we play nothing but rock. And then like hardcore kids were like, butt rock. So they started calling it, butt rock. And it's funny, but it has kind of become like this subgenre for like, Nickelback, Creed, Breaking Benjamin, those kind of like
Hinder.
Yeah. I don't want to call them generic because it's the core sound of what like hard rock is. Like it's got a formula, it's got a sense of stability to it. It's a proven working formula that Nickelback was a primary pioneer for.
You're right. And I'm not going to argue that part with you, but I am going to argue the fact it should have never happened because it sucks. So
But without Nickelback, you're not going to have your Breaking Benjamins, whom I absolutely love. You're not going to have your Creeds, whom Scott Stapp is actually a pretty decent dude now. And we've heard rumors for a few years now that Creed is actually like cool again and they might get back together. So if a Creed tour happened, even though everybody like knocks on them and talks trash on them, I would go see Creed.
Creed is one of the butt rock bands I'm not going to say respect because that's not the word.
And that feels like such the opposite because I feel like Nickelback has earned that respect so much more than any other quote unquote butt rock band.
I don't know. I think they were too mainstream for too long and it kind of ruined it for me and it soured it. And I don't like their like.
Look at this photograph.
Every time I do, it makes me laugh. It's the stupidest lyric I've ever heard. You cannot.
But they turned into a meme. Like they haven't released a record in like a decade, and they are still everywhere because Chad Kroeger held up a photograph, and
it's
now
not
he's
a
a
meme that I like the song. It's a meme mocking how bad the song is.
All right, I'm gonna lay the hammer down with this. 2 American Music Awards. Even though they're Canadian, they won American Music Awards even though they're Canadian. 7 Billboard Music Awards. These are all wins, by the way. 6 Grammy nominations. 2 MTV Video Music Awards, back when music mattered on MTV still. People's Choice Award, Record of the Year in 2008 in the UK, and then a bunch of Canadian awards that don't matter because they're Canadian.
I mean, like, Ariana Grande wins a million record awards. It doesn't mean I like her or she's any good.
But she's like a pioneer in the genre. She's like, whether we like her or not.
Not.
Yes, she is.
Not. She does the same generic crap every other female pop star ever did. I'm not gonna. No.
A working, successful formula that makes you tons of money and wins you tons of awards.
But see, I think that's what's broken about the music industry right now is that we crutch so hard on this works. We know this works instead of experimenting and moving out and doing something different that people actually want to hear because like a small enough sect of the audience will always gravitate to the same bullshit, but we can actually do something different and allow other people to have a chance. And instead of rewarding lazy, crappy, formulaic songwriting, instead we actually like do something different. And I want more of that. I want more unique artists. I want more Greta Van Fleets. And I know Greta Van Fleet sounds just like Led Zeppelin. Don't even get
No. I'm off that argument.
But they're different from everything else on the radio. And that's what I want more of. And I think more people want that. And the music industry isn't keeping up because they're like, I don't understand why things like Lil Nas X go #1 without us touching it. That's because we want different stuff. And I think that's the magic of things like TikTok, where like these artists get to break out without a record label having anything to do with it. And I love it because it's finally, we're in a place in music and music industry where the average listener can actually impact the way a band does versus some people with money behind the scenes paying to push everyone through. And then we're just stomaching whatever bullshit they put out. It's finally and I think Nickelback was a product of that era. And I think that's probably why I don't like them. Cause I feel like they were like the NSYNC Backstreet Boys. We put them together and this is your super group of butt rock. And like, I can't stand it. And then
the super butt rock.
And you have that much money, Chad Kroeger, and you can't even get your hair fixed. Like, you can't not look like Robin. Like, I've got a lot of problems, and some of them are mean and petty and cosmetic, and I don't care. So take it for what it is. Like,
so you brought up the fact that, you know, you want bands to do something new and original and stuff. How long has it been since Nickelback put out a record?
Like a decade, right?
Yeah, it's been like 10 years. You want to know why that is, right? Because they don't feel like they can keep up with the sound and the times. They haven't put out anything that they feel like is a change or progression in their band. So they said, you know what? We are going to lie on our morals and we're going to say, this is who we are. This is what we've done. We're just going to stick with it. I thought they were dead to rights. I thought Nickelback was done, other than the whole meme thing of them being the most hated band in the world until Imagine Dragons came on and they passed the baton, because that's been a whole thing lately.
Which is kind of funny and weird.
Oh, it's hilarious. But you know,
it.
Even now as the second most hated rock band out there, like, Nickelback continues to say, this is who we are and this is what we do. Like, they're not ashamed of it.
But like, release new music then. Don't be a coward.
They did. This is where I'm going to get you.
Okay.
I thought they were dead to rights, and then they had the balls and audacity to release a cover of Devil Went Down to Georgia.
That's right, last year.
The same week that Korn released a cover of the same song. And I'm not even joking. I had a feature at the time called Smothered and Covered, and I was going to play the Korn version of Devil Went Down to Georgia. The day I was going to do that, they released this cover from Nickelback, and I was like, this is tenfold better than Korn.
I'll give you that. The Nickelback version was better, but I feel like that's closer to their music than Korn's is. And so, of course, they're going to be better at it because it's like Nickelback has a little bit more of that. I don't want to say country style because they're not country, but they have that like Southern rock feel to them versus.
Well, it's the same kind of song structure. You know,
Yeah.
it's very similar. You know, they were the pioneers of that kind of like A-B bridge, you know, kind of build for music, you know, and that's why I think they're still one of the pioneers to the current hard rock sound, because even bands like Five Finger, even bands, you know, like Bad Wolves and other, you know, more or less modern butt rock bands, they still stick to that kind of same formula that was laid out before them from Nickelback, because you think before the butt rock era, you had nu metal, which was incorporating hip hop. And before that, you had grunge, which was its own thing. So you had grunge, which was completely off the rails. They did whatever they wanted, and it was crazy and wild. You never knew what to expect. You had nu metal come in, which was a completely different sound, and it had a completely different structure to it. And then you throw this, I'll say it, processed and kind of structured formulaic rock, which we hadn't had in a while. The last time you heard anything kind of structured was 80s hair metal, and that was such trash at that point.
Yeah, it was
that nobody wanted to listen to it.
Chinese Democracy is the perfect example of how that stuff needed to die when it died.
Yeah, absolutely. So now you've gone from completely formulaic, you know, structured 80s hair metal to completely like off the rails, wild, no structure whatsoever grunge, to a completely different style and sound in nu metal. There's no structure left in this music anymore, and all the 80s stuff that was structured is trash. So now you develop this structured hard rock sound that I believe Nickelback is one of the pioneers for, and that is why Nickelback is awesome, because they are the reason. And I know there's going to be friends that have heard me talk trash on Nickelback before, but I have come around.
No.
Yes, Nickelback is awesome, and without them, we wouldn't have, I would say, a third of the bands that we do now.
No, I'm gonna so disagree. I mean, I think there's definitely some influence. I think they've definitely done a lot for that mold of rock. I will give you that. But I think Creed would have done it if Nickelback wasn't there. I don't think Nickelback was the first. They came out almost simultaneously, if I remember correctly. So it's like, I don't think that I understand why people like them. But I think it's like the same thing as like my hatred of Radiohead. It's the same. It's like too many people liked them and I didn't understand why. And it pissed me off. And I've held that ever since. Because I'm like, why? There's nothing about this that's that spectacular compared to everything else out there. Why won't you people shut the hell up?
But when songs like Animal and when songs like Photograph and You Remind Me come on, are you one of those that like you put your hand over your mouth and you mouth all the words because you know all the words to them?
Immediately change the station, even if it's us. I'm out the second Nickelback. If I'm in the studio and it comes on, I'm turning it down. Like I just, they're not my cup of tea, and I appreciate what they've done. I appreciate also though that Chad Kroeger is actually willing to play along with the memes. I give him a lot of props for that, because there's plenty of people who've been very thin-skinned and very crappy about people mocking their music or even having fun or poking fun at it. Scott Stapp is a perfect example of someone who cannot take a joke at all whatsoever. I have a friend who works in radio somewhere far, far away. He used to do these Scott Stapp sings Christmas song parodies where he'd
Jingle bell, jingle bell.
Yeah, and so he would do that, and then he'd put his lips over a picture of Scott Stapp, and it was hilarious. And it wasn't offensive. Like he didn't do it in a way that was like Creed sucks. It was just kind of a parody of that guy's voice and how unique it is. Scott Stapp lost his mind on this dude and like threatened cease and desist, like all this other stuff. And I'm like, dude, you A, haven't been relevant in a decade. B, this guy's giving you relevancy. And C, it's not even that mean. Like, how can you not make a joke about how like weirdly orchestral your voice sounds or whatever the heck you're trying to vibrato that's unnecessary that he throws in there. And like, I don't have a problem with Creed. I really don't. With Arms Wide Open is a song that I will crank and sing along embarrassingly when it does come on. I don't even like the song, but you get sucked into it. So, but I don't know. It's not my cup of tea.
Scott Stapp is on TikTok now, and I just saw I followed him the other day. He actually, I think he's considerably cooler than he was, back in the day. And I think he realized that he was kind of a jerk back in the day.
Yeah.
But like, there's a video of some guy singing with arms wide open, just way overdoing it. We're all over, and Scott Stapp is watching it and like smiling along. I swear to God, though, like, there's a single tear running down. Like, he's just like looking at the screen like this, and I swear they photoshopped it out or something. There's just a single tear running down his cheek. He's just like, oh God, I was that bad.
You gotta be able to laugh about it. And like, if you can't take a joke, people are still listening to your music, and whether or not it's kind of tongue in cheek, you're still getting paid. So like, what do you care if someone's doing that? They're just giving you free publicity, and at your career point where you're not making music or doing anything, you should take every little scrap you can get. Like, if someone wants to do a parody of my existence, I would think that shit's hilarious. I'm never going to be offended as long as you're not calling me mean names. And I've never really seen anybody do that about him or even anyone in Nickelback. Like, while people make fun of Nickelback, no one ever calls them names outright. Right. They're just like, they suck is the worst you'll get. And okay, yeah, sure, I suck, whatever.
So if Nickelback,
you're not, so
if Nickelback comes to town, like if they go on a tour and they come to town, you're coming to that show with me, right?
No.
I'm gonna turn you into a Nickelback believer, Hardy.
I mean, I would for the bit. Am I going to enjoy myself?
Yes, you are.
No.
You're gonna have a blast, Hardy.
Okay, I challenge you.
All right.
If Nickelback ever comes within driving distance of us and we can go, I will take you up on that challenge, and I promise you I will not enjoy myself.
No, we're going to have a blast. We're going to have an absolute blast at Nickelback. You're going to be singing along. You're going to be, oh no, I was about to sing Creed. You're going to like, photograph. Like, you're going to be.
Every time I do, I want to shoot myself. Like, it's great. I can't wait.
There's going to be a photo of us at this show, and I'm literally going to hold up every time we do this podcast and go, look at this photograph. And it's just you and me enjoying Nickelback.
I hope so. I can't wait.
So the ultimate question then, because you hate Nickelback and because they more or less handed the baton to Imagine Dragons recently for not being a rock band.
Yeah.
Who do you hate more, Nickelback or Imagine Dragons?
Nickelback, because I really don't have that much problems with Imagine Dragons. I really don't hate Imagine Dragons. I don't mind them that much.
Thunder?
It's not my
I got that thunder. That stupid thunder.
I mean, but at the same time, that's one of the songs you do catch yourself singing along to, whether you like it or not. Like, you can't not get that little thunder.
But like, that's literally the only word of that song I know.
But that's more than any Nickelback song ever got stuck in my head.
Never made it as a wise man. There's plenty of more words in Nickelback songs that get stuck in my head.
Well, no, I mean, there's words, but they never stick with me. Like, I never go home still humming a Nickelback song. Like, I hear it and then I forget it happened immediately afterwards.
I'm gonna load, like, I get to pick the music and stuff now. I'm just gonna load up your show with Nickelback soon, and
I'm just gonna start yelling, that song sucks. I almost did today. There was a Nickelback song in my show, and I was almost like, do I? No. Be good. At least wait till the podcast comes out, and then you can start talking trash. But
yeah, it's like, well, when we were talking about
context, it's rude.
We were talking about Imagine Dragons last week, and I was just like, it came up this week, and I was just like, oh, there were a lot of people not happy. And same with No Rain. People were not happy that I did not like No Rain.
Good. They're right. All those people are right. I'm glad that and you know what? I've even said it on air. I'm like, listen, if you listen to the podcast, I'm right on all my opinions, and Meatballs are wrong. I'm always right. So
I mean, I hardly ever believe I'm right anyway. So like, I make decisions, and a lot of times, like, the best bits that come out of anything I do is because I failed at something, and it's hilarious.
That's the best way to get stuff done. If you can't laugh at yourself, what's the point of life? So
yeah. I mean, let's just talk about the fact that I have to wear my glasses today because I'm pretty sure my contacts aren't the right prescription anymore. And on top of that, they're like daily disposable. So I literally have boxes upon boxes of contacts that I'm pretty sure don't have the right prescription anymore.
Oh no, that sucks.
So if you see me at a show and I'm just like, yeah, we're here with what's the band's name?
I can't see that far.
Is that Dirty Homie? Dirty?
Is that a Joyous Woods?
Yeah.
It's Joyous Woods.
It's Gorilla. Gorilla. That's the name of the
Gorilla
band.
Glue. I think that band's called Gorilla Glue.
Gorilla. Yeah. That's the right band name.
Don't put them in your hair.
God, that might be the dumbest thing that happened in the past year, and it made me feel so good about terrible decisions I've made in my life.
I know, I'm definitely nailing it compared to that poor woman. So,
So Nickelback is awesome. Luna agrees. That's all that matters.
No, you guys can't outvote me. This is crap.
Well, that's the end of the podcast.
Hold on, wait. No, hold on. I got someone to agree with me. Hold on.
Okay, who do you? Okay, all right. Who you got? I can't imagine Hardy's going to find anybody that agrees with her that
Gar
Nickelback
Brooks
is not awesome.
Gar Brooks definitely does.
Gar Brooks. What?
This is Gar Brooks.
Gar Brooks.
He has a cowboy hat.
What? You have a Gar in the? What? How have I not seen this yet?
Because he's my favorite. He's my sidekick on my show, and no one ever hears his commentary, but he's always adding to my bits. But I found his tiny hat and put it on him, and I named him Gar Brooks. I don't know where he came from. Somebody that doesn't work here anymore had this on their wall, and it's been passed down amongst generations and generations of DJs. And he's honestly, I've done multiple TikToks with him. He always does well on TikTok. People really like him.
I did see your TikTok with this fucking thing, and it was just you.
It's like, yeah. But like, yeah, he's a full, like, it's real. This is a real Gar. His eyes aren't real, but the rest of him's real.
Wow.
And his hat's not. Well, I guess his hat's real.
It's
real
special.
to him.
So now we each have a sidekick to side with us. You have Gar Brooks, and I have Luna the plant.
I think Gar Brooks wins.
I don't know.
Luna is pretty awesome.
Gar Brooks has teeth, but Luna can breathe out of water.
I've injured myself with Gar Brooks' teeth. Fun fact: I got my headphones stuck in his mouth one time on accident. Don't ask me how it got. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question. But I like his teeth are like really. Can you see? They're really, really sharp.
Yeah, they look. They look pretty.
I impaled myself on one of these teeth, and like I was bleeding. And I'm like, Gar Brooks bit me.
It's because you said Nickelback wasn't awesome, and Gar Brooks agrees with me, don't you, Gar Brooks?
His friends are low places, but they do not like Nickelback because they have taste. No.
My name is Gar Brooks, and I agree with Meatball.
See, it doesn't. Man,
No,
it doesn't.
no. My friends may be in low places, but they got good taste. That's Gar Brooks, ladies and gentlemen. It's the dance. Just dance away from Nickelback when you hear them on the radio.
Complete and utter
Gar
chaos.
Brooks, I'm telling them to tune off. Jeez, come on, dude.
Complete and utter chaos on this podcast. All right, I think we've delved very, very deep into the sound hole today, so I'm gonna see if I can find a ladder and get out of here.
Yeah, we gotta get out of here.
yeah. I don't even see sunlight at this point. We're way deep down today.
Oops.
As always, like, comment, subscribe for the podcast. If you're seeing us on YouTube, follow us online, t95.com/thesoundhole. Also listen to us on our T95 app. Just find it in the App Store and Google Play. Listen to the audio there. So if you got like a long road trip or something like that, you can take us along with you. And you don't have to worry about watching this stupidity on YouTube sometimes. But
no, you should totally watch it.
yeah. If you listen to it in the car, come back and watch it later, because like there's bits where we're talking and we're doing stuff on camera that you're just like, what the hell is going on? I don't understand.
These two idiots need to be on the radio only.
If that's not the truest statement I have ever heard.
My mama never called me a liar. That's for damn sure.
All right, we are climbing out of this. I can't even say the word sound.
Have a great day. We'll see you next week.
Okay, bye.
Bye.